I'm sure you heard, everybody heard, this had the internet up in flames right here. R-Truth.
Yeah, man.
And Carlito.
Yeah.
Both released. They weren't technically fired. It's just that their contracts expired and they're not going to get renewed. But it's still unfortunate because, well, for a lot of reasons. One is they're OGs. They provided humor to, what's usually a very serious form of entertainment. R-Truth was so lovable and likable. And Carlito, he brought an extra layer of just fun to the Judgment Day. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. I was more surprised by like R-Truth than Carlito. It just seems like they just really couldn't get a story swing of Carlito. It's just kind of like he was just too much support. And it's kind of like support is cool, but it's like, all right, what's next? And I just think they just couldn't figure out a story for him, bro. But R-Truth was like he said, like he was like, people look forward to seeing the truth. Like he was going to do something funny. It was going to be random as hell. And he was going to even make like the people in the back break character because he always did that. So I was more surprised by him, man, than Carlito. And Carlito's my guy. Like back in the day, I had the Carlito shirt and the shirt came with a wig, like his afro when you bought it, man. So Carlito's always been my guy, man. I was looking forward to them figuring out a story for him, man. So that was definitely disappointing too. Yeah,
Carlito was like a role player pretty much, but he played his role pretty well. He wasn't out there like winning matches or nothing like that, but when it came for like the usual Judgment Day run-in, he was good for that. Right? Or when someone's feuding with the Judgment Day, typically they got to go through the ranks before they get to like the big boss. So like Carlito was like one of those stepping stones, but at the same time, it didn't hurt him when he lost. He was still Carlito. No. He was still over. Like he had that it factor. But I'm sad to see him go. I'm glad he came back, but I'm definitely sad to see him go. Because the Judgment Day angle is getting pretty hot right now as it steams up with the introduction of Roxanne Perez into the mix, Finn Balor out there plotting and scheming, and Carlito just being the guy in the back, just observing everything and then inserting his 2 cents every now and then. Right, I enjoyed that. But R-Truth, R-Truth, he's been there for. So I was listening to this podcast, and this one guy made this great point. Like R-Truth is like the last like active wrestler from the Attitude Era.
Damn, he was
right when he was when he was K-Quick or whatever.
Yep.
Of course, he went to TNA and had his run, right, NWA champion and all that good stuff. But then he came back and took off for him. And then at some point they figured out this innocent comedic character was the right move for him, and they kept it going for the longest time. And then he made the Judgment Day very interesting. Him teaming up with The Miz was great.
Awesome Truth,
yeah, Awesome Truth was great. The Judgment Day was really great. When he was messing with DIY and calling them Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I don't know if you remember that. He had that big Saturday Night's Main Event match. And I don't know if the writing was on the wall when he had that match, but that's like one of his biggest like matches. And you saw the crowd went crazy for him during that match. Like John Cena, him and John Cena had a really fun, yet short, a really fun match. And the shirt he had on, the Ron Cena shirt. I mean, like, come on, bro.
I know, man. It's
get your ass out of here, Jack Perry.
It's wild, man. It's wild. But like, maybe they just maybe it's part of the story. Maybe they'll surprise us, and then he'll just pop up out of nowhere again. Maybe he'll pop up like in distract, Cena doing a match, and that's how the title changes over back to Cody or whoever's like going to be in the near future, the champion. The possibilities are endless. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to keep us guessing. Like I said, they've been doing a good job about it. Same thing with Carlito. I think Carlito went against somebody for the Puerto Rican title or something like that.
Yeah.
And now he's the Puerto Rican champion.
Yeah.
And so And they said something about he may come back to WWE. I don't know if it's official, you know what I'm saying? But that'd be cool to bring that title over to WWE since they're like doing crossover branding with certain uh affiliates. That would be super cool.
Yeah, that in Puerto Rico, that's his family owned promotion, the Colognes.
Oh, cool.
His father is Carlos Colon, a very famous Puerto Rican legend. I mean, another podcaster had mentioned that maybe he can go to TNA, which he could, but TNA is owned by WWE. Well, no, excuse me. That's the wrong thing. TNA is not.
They got a partnership. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right. They got a partnership with WWE. They're not owned. Yet and still, that would be kind of awkward, I guess. Can he be R-Truth in another promotion? Probably not, but he can be Ron the Truth Killings, which that'll be just fine. He's 50. He's in his mid-50s, but you couldn't tell looking at him.
No.
Yeah. He
looks great. Energetic.
Yeah. Is still in shape, can still go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just so weird after that Saturday night's main event match. I just thought he would be good for life until he decided he wanted to leave, not because they wanted to decide to cut budget or whatever, for whatever reason it was. However, this seems to be one of those releases where the internet, fans really voice their opinion and their displeasure. And they let it be known that they don't. Why would you cut him? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do to deserve that? So I found that very interesting. And I don't know if you heard the chants last night, that "We want R-Truth" chants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
During multiple segments. Multiple segments, they did that. It can't be denied. I think one of the best things or best moves that WWE could do is like just renegotiate a new contract with this guy. Maybe put him on some type of like Legends deal or something like that if money is the issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just change his roles and responsibilities. You can make him a backstage agent to help the other talent with their matches, and then bring them out when you need to provide some type of comedic relief or whatever. Maybe you know what? But there's still a lot of gas in the tank and a lot of things that they could do with a talent like an R-Truth, and letting that talent get away to go somewhere else, especially if he goes to like an AEW, which I don't know if he would or if he wouldn't, but I'm pretty sure that they would gladly take him. You know what I mean? Like Tony Khan's checkbook is pretty large. Only problem is he has a lot of talent just sitting backstage not doing shit. So this could be the same fate. So
I guess it would make sense, like it would have to like I said, like it if they were to bring him back, I think it definitely would be a pop. He will get a pop when he come out. It'd be cool too if he like grabbed like the Intercontinental title or something one more time, or even the US title. I think that'd be cool for like another short run, just to like a last hurrah. Definitely, I don't see him grabbing like a world title. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Just because he just said that OG status, and it's just kind of like he's like you said, a Legends deal would be cool. He just pop in every once in a while. Pump the crowd up, makes laugh, and then keep it fun. You don't see him too consistently, but when he do pop up, it's like he's gonna get a pop every time he pop up.
Yeah, put him in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
That's a given. Pull him in the Hall of Fame. Put him on some type of Legends deal. If you want to make the fans really, really happy, because after a while, this will be the next issue will pop up. It'll be off of people's minds. But if you really want to make people happy, find a way to bring this man back. Don't let go of such an entertaining part of your program. In his last match, that was on SmackDown, he got squashed by Jeff Cobb. But we'll cover that in just a few moments. But I figured they were leading to a program there, but apparently not. So
I know that is such a wild way to go out, though, man. It's like, dang, let me go out like with a good hoorah at least. Like both of my like last matches, I'm getting, that's crazy, man.
At least
put some respect on the man's name.
You said what now?
I said put some respect on his name.
Absolutely. I will say this: at least he went out on a pretty high note with that John Cena match. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, that was a great program. If that was going to be his swan song to ride into the sunset. And so here's another point that someone brought up. If you knew, and they had to know, they couldn't have just figured it out a couple of days ago. They knew who they were going to be cutting, right?
Exactly.
It's just like when I got laid off at work and they tried to act like they didn't know who the cuts were. Oh no,
Yes,
you
you
knew.
did.
You knew for months, right?
Mm-hmm.
In his case, why not make that match? Because the match wasn't for a title. So it could have been, I'll put my career on the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put a stipulation behind it and draw some more money to it. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get your ass out of here, Jack Perry.
Make the story believable. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave people like, just happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure everybody was like that. As like you said, that's how the internet was reacting. Like nobody saw that coming.
Nobody. And we had talked about this last week. We were just convinced that R-Truth was going to just forgive Cena whenever Cena turned back face.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, if they want Cena to turn back face, how about he politics to bring R-Truth back?
Yeah, that will help.
Then because he on the fans so damn hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got a feeling like, look, I'm going to call it right now, man. He's going to pop back up in a Cena story.
You think so?
I think so. Mark my words. Somehow he's going to pop back up. This right here could be just good writing, and they're making it seem like it's, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we've released him. Like, oh, sure you did. Or is he just on vacation, taking a little break, and then you're going to write it back into the story, when you think people, just when you thought, I mean, they're never going to forget R-Truth, but just when you think people kind of got used to him not being around, he's going to pop back up in a Cena story or a Cena match.
Never say never. I mean, a new contract can be negotiated at any given time. It's all about do they want it or not? But hopefully, I'm hoping that they come to their senses, and I'll be perfectly fine with it being a prank or a joke. Matter of fact, I listen to so many damn wrestling podcasts, but a few people were thinking that since it was on June 1st when he announced it, that maybe he was acting as if it was a late April Fool's joke.
That would be funny. That would be hilarious.
It sounds like something that he would do, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. April Fools. They'd be like, true. It's June. Right.
Right. But man, it's just it's unfortunate. We love you, R-Truth. But letting you go was
ridiculous.
For real.
Yeah.
So we wish him the best in his future endeavors, but hopefully he'll come back. Please come back, R-Truth.
Come back, Truth.
WWE, get your shit together.
Right now, you're checking out VSOP.
Hip hop and wrestling.